This Friday, SpaceX goes public. For the first time, regular people, including teens, can own a piece of the company building rockets to Mars. This is the biggest IPO in stock market history. Today, I'll break down what's happening, what it teaches you about investing, and if you should buy it. First, what is an IPO? It stands for Initial Public Offering. It's when a private company opens its doors to public investors for the first time. Before this week, SpaceX was private. Only Elon Musk, early investors, and employees could own a piece of it. This Friday, that changes. SpaceX lists on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange under the ticker SPCX. Anyone with a brokerage account can potentially buy shares. Now, let's talk about the numbers. They are staggering. SpaceX is targeting a valuation of $1.75 trillion. That's the sticker price the company and its bankers set. They're raising $75 billion in this offering. The previous record for the largest IPO was Saudi Aramco in 2019. SpaceX is raising more than double that. The share price is set at $135 per share, but this price is the target the company set. The market decides the real price starting Friday morning. It could open higher or lower. Nobody knows until trading begins. That's your first investing lesson from this story. Now, what does SpaceX actually do? You probably know them as the rocket company. They launch satellites, supply the International Space Station, and are building Starship to go to Mars. But the real business driving this valuation is Starlink. SpaceX's satellite internet service now has over 10 million subscribers worldwide. Last quarter, Starlink made a profit of over $1 billion. SpaceX's total revenue in 2025 was $18.67 billion. But here's the tension that makes this a genuine financial lesson. SpaceX lost $4.9 billion in 2025. The entire company is not yet profitable. So investors are paying $1.75 trillion for a company losing nearly $5 billion a year. Why? Because they're betting on the future. Starlink dominating global internet, Mars colonies, technologies worth trillions that don't exist yet. Morningstar, a respected investment research firm, says SpaceX is worth roughly half the IPO price. Half. So you have massive investor demand. The IPO was 2 times oversubscribed, meaning $150 billion of orders for $75 billion of shares. And you have serious analysts saying it's priced at double what it's worth. Who's right? The market will start answering that question Friday. Now, can you actually buy SpaceX? Yes. And this is actually unusual. Most big IPOs go almost entirely to giant institutions, hedge funds, pension funds, banks. Regular people get nothing at the IPO price. SpaceX did something rare. They earmarked 30% of shares, $22.5 billion worth, specifically for retail investors. That's people like you and me. Here's how to access it if you want to. Through Robinhood, SoFi, or E-Trade. No minimum required. You can request shares before Friday's open. Through Fidelity, you need a $2,000 minimum in your account. Through Charles Schwab, submit what's called a conditional offer to purchase through their IPO calendar before 4 p.m. on pricing day. But, and this is critical, there's no guarantee you get shares at the $135 IPO price. Allocation isn't guaranteed. If you don't get IPO shares, you can still buy SPCX on the open market starting Friday. But that price could be significantly higher. Remember, company sets the sticker price. Market sets the real price. For teens with custodial accounts, this needs to go through your parents. They manage the account and would need to request the allocation or place the order. Same process we talked about in our investing video. Now, here's the bigger lesson. SpaceX going public is the most hyped financial event of 2026. Everyone is talking about it. FOMO is real. But remember our debt video? Remember our video game trap video? We talked about how FOMO makes you make bad financial decisions. The same principle applies here. Just because something is exciting doesn't mean it's a good investment at any price. Here are the 3 questions to ask before buying any IPO. 1. Do I understand what this company actually does and how it makes money? 2. Am I comfortable with the risk that serious analysts think it's overpriced? 3. Would I be okay if this dropped 50% after I bought it? If you can answer those 3 questions honestly, whatever your answers are, You're thinking like an investor. Should you care about SpaceX going public this Friday? Yes, even if you never buy a single share. Watching how the biggest IPO in history opens, trades, and performs is a free masterclass. Follow the story. Watch the opening price. Friday. Check back in 6 months and see if Morningstar or the hype crowd was right. That's your challenge this week. If this helped you understand what's happening with the biggest financial event of the year, hit subscribe. And let me know in the comments, would you buy SpaceX at $135? Why or why not? See you in the next one.